Hi, guys. Hello, world. It is I, Becca Lori Hector, here with Becca's Backyard Live. For everybody to load in and do whatnot. I am doing it here from my spot instead. I spoke to a few of you guys. I've been asking for feedback on the live stream and what you guys like, what you don't like, what could I do better, things like that. And so one of the comments that I'm getting was about the wind and the audio that way. And then for the past couple of weeks, we've been kind of struggling with the buffering situation coming to you guys. And there's two reasons for that. First of all, I live up on the mountain, and we sometimes get great connection, and sometimes we get okay connection, and that's part of that reason. And so also everybody's on it at the same time here, and so that's pulling from. I was going to do it from the office, but I didn't want to have another video with the same background, and I want the live stream Becca's Backyard to be more casual, more what word do I want to use? More comfortable. And it's less business, right? Literally on the other side of the modem, which I might try on a nicer day. And then I thought, well, I'm going to try it and also do it from my all the animals know this is my spot. Everybody knows. And so we have like an L-shaped couch, and I'm in the corner. So it kind of goes like this around me, and all the animals are always around me. And it's an IKEA couch, so we put it all together kind of modularly. And we have another square to put in because we need more couch space. As you can see, that's the Schmidt behind me. He's decided to join us this week. He's our oldest cat now. He's about 7, 8 years old. Maine Coon mix. I love him. He's my snuggle buddy. We sleep together every night, and I love him. So that's Schmidt. I know he just decided to come up and sit there for the live stream. He knows that he's a handsome boy, I think, and he needs you guys to tell him how handsome he is. So he, okay. Oh, look, he's going to face you now and everything. Oh, my gosh. Okay, I'm going to stop looking at my own cat, and we're going to talk about stuff. So, hey, Miriam. So the other thing that I got some feedback on and was about topics. So I was like, okay, if I'm doing the live stream, what are the things that you guys kind of enjoy sort of seeing or hearing about, I guess, is really what it is. I don't know. And I was just talking whatever. And so she's not here, I don't think. But Joe, if you're here, I'm giving you credit for this. She said, well, I like it when, hi, Joe. And I said, she likes it when we talk about topics, right? And I thought, well, that makes so much sense. That's so dumb. So of course we should talk about topics. And of course I can tell you how I handle certain topics in autism, and I can tell you like generalized advice, and I can talk about some things I don't understand about those particular topics or questions that I have as well. But what a smart thing. Thank you, Joe. That was so smart. And it helps me because then I don't have to work so hard to think about what I'm bringing to you guys every week, because as you know, I'll communication with you. So in my head, we're like in a room, and this is a little tiny support group, and here we are on our little support group, even though other people watch who don't necessarily really participate in the chat or come every week or whatever, but maybe they will, and maybe they'll just need to watch for a while, and then they'll come and jump in, who knows, throughout as our topic for this week. But before I get into any of that, I just want to say thank you to you guys. A lot of you were there for the webinar. Some of you won, some of you registered, and I'm really, really grateful that you were there. I had a really, really good time doing it. I had added some slides and changed some things. I told you guys I was going to be tweaking at the last minute on it, and I was literally like 2 hours before still tweaking this presentation. But it ran really smoothly because I had put in the pieces. Oh, good. Thank you, Miriam. Yeah, that's what that on and off buffering. If I can just keep it to that, that'd be great. That's happens to me when I'm on the phone too. But anyway, we'll try. I think Antonio is considering putting a network cable in directly, which will solve all of these problems. But nonetheless, we continue. We strive on. Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed the webinar, Nancy. Thank you, Carrie. It was really, really fun to put together and to share that with you guys. I was so excited to have so many of you there and to have so many people behind me on it. It was pretty amazing. And yeah, so now the recording of the webinar that we all participated in on Saturday is now up for purchase. So if you know anybody that you think would really benefit from it, or you think you would like them to watch it as well, if you know anybody that you think just should know about it, please feel free to share the link. I'll put the link in the description of the video, and it goes right to my website, and I'm just charging $25 for the recording of it. And I think, and once you get the recording, it's yours and you can share it with people. But I'd appreciate it if you could at least send some people my way who you think might be interested in the stuff that I talk about, my little woo train that I go on. But I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, because you're the ones that I do it for, right? I mean, you guys are the ones that I want to take on this journey with me. So I'm glad that a bunch of you were there. That's what mattered the most to me, I think. So yeah, so onwards onto that. The webinar link is up on my website, everything I do, the newsletter. If you have not signed up for that yet, head over to my website, sign up for my newsletter, because that's on the top of my head, and I'm in the process of deciding on the theme for May. And sorry for itching my nose so much. I'm like having allergies today for the first time. Any case, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so the theme. So I'm thinking about themes for the newsletter right now. So if you're not signed up for that, please go sign up for that. It's really fun. It's my motivational newsletter, monthly musings, and I pick a theme once a month, and I put out a newsletter on that theme. So I don't know, I'm tossing it up, guys. If you have thoughts of an idea for a theme. Right now, the two ideas that I have, I'm either going to do resilience or joy. I'm not sure which one. So if you have any thoughts, you have any feelings on it, let me know in chat, let me know in comments, whatever. But I think I have to make the decision in like the next 24 to 48 hours. So let me know. Yeah, so go sign up to that. But everything that I do is on the website. So Becca Lory, LORY.com. And you'll find everything that I do. The newsletter, the webinar is there. Some writing samples are there. All my social media is there. All that jazz. But yeah, so enough about that. But that's where everything is, you guys. So if you need anything that I've ever done, or you're looking for something or some way to connect with me, just all you have to remember is my website, and it's all there. So yeah. But I'm glad you guys enjoy. Oh, you like resilience, Joe? Yeah, I thought that was my first one too. And I was trying to decide. I didn't want to go with like a too springy of a theme. I feel like that's too predictable. But I like that one too. So yeah, where else can I tell you? Oh, I'm like completely tired. I can also share that. You can see it. I can see it when I'm looking at me. You looking at me. I see it. Okay, I'm that tired. I'm currently doing this off my lap, so I know it's moving a little. I'm trying not to move too much. And let's see. Oh yeah. Oh wait, you guys, hair update. It's up, you guys. It all goes up. Look. I have extra even. I have extra. So hair update. Because I didn't even feel like brushing my hair or doing anything with my hair today. I had some meetings this morning and everything. And I just wanted to get here on time for you guys. And kind of share all this stuff with you. So I'm here with my messy hair and my tired face and my voice that keeps going in and out. And I'm here to share. So let's get to the topic, shall we? So this topic, again, it was the one that Joe just threw out, right? That was what she's thinking about right now. And so this week's theme for our little fun little group, which maybe it needs another name. Maybe we're not Becca's Backyard Live. If you think of another name for it, something live, that's cool. Throw that to me. I'd appreciate it. But our theme today for this week is medication. So we're going to talk a little bit about medication today. I'm certain that you have had to deal with medication issues. And so let's talk about it a little, right? First off, let's talk fact. There is no cure for autism. So there's no medication that you can take that will fix your autism and make it go away, right? That's A. That's like the big old number factoid. There's anything that anybody takes away from this video, that's it. There is no curing autism. It is a biological fact of the way you were born, and we can't really medicate it away. That doesn't happen. And so what we do instead is that we can medicate for the co-occurs. And that is what we can talk about medication about. So I'm going to tell you my saga of medication, and I'll share a little bit of tips and advice I think about medication now that I'm this far in the journey, and I've been doing this for a long time and hearing other people's stories as well, of course. So Medication. For me, medication has always been a scary topic. I have been on medication of one kind or another for one mental illness to another, and sometimes even physical ailments that were confused and I was medicated for. And many of the things I was medicated for, I did not have. That's right. I was medicated for things that weren't things that I had. So I worry a little bit. I think, in hindsight about it, about the medication issue and, what happened to me, because I was 9 years old when they started medicating me. And I was medicated for everything from anxiety to depression to schizophrenia to manic depression, everything. And none of the medications worked. And of course, that's because I didn't have any of those things. And so it wasn't really working to help with what I was struggling with at all. And of course, they never made me feel good because I didn't even need them. Authority figures, because here they were telling me to do this thing and you're supposed to listen to them. But everything that I did that they asked me to do was sort of, I got so annoyed with all of the therapists that I said, I'm not doing it anymore, period. And so I stopped going to therapists. I didn't want to be in therapy. I stopped taking all medications. And that didn't make it better either, because, I had to deal with the physical of kind of getting off the medications and everything. And then, I still wasn't feeling better when I stopped taking the medication. Still, I was having issues. And so I struggled with that topic for most of my life. And when it came up for me in terms of autism, I was about 2 years, maybe 2.5 years post-diagnosis. I will catch up in the chat, you guys, right after I'm finished with the story, so I don't lose track and I don't tell you misinformation. So, so I got about 2.5 years after my diagnosis, the subject was broached with me in therapy about medication. And it came up because I was talking about feel pretty okay mental health wise for most of the late winter, early spring itself, and most of the summer. And then I start to struggle as fall kind of enters. And is it, it's around all the time. That's not to say I don't feel the depression all year round, that 6 months, right? So essentially what it worked out to is that I was having 6 really productive, enjoyable, good months. And then in return, I would have 6 months of really, really hard struggles, right? Really, really tough ones, right? And so what it was broached with me, did I want to take medication for it? And I worried because, again, I had all these years of taking things that never worked and for all the wrong things. And it was then explained to me about the idea that we're medicating for the depression, which really, is really more a result of the trauma of not being diagnosed than having anything to do with the autism itself. So that we were medicating kind of to sort of make it easier to get through, right? And to get past those times, because was it worth, did I want to? And this is the question that, when posed to me, helped me make my decision. This is the very question. Was it worth giving up 6 months every year not to try medication? What? You guys, if you went to the webinar, you know how I feel about time, right? Blew my brains. That was all I needed. It was like a logical thought. And I said, okay, I'm going to try again. And I went and I tried, after we went through all of my history of medications, I tried a kind of medication for depression that I'd never tried before, and actually worked. And it works actually for depression and anxiety, and helps me some with sleep as well. So it's like it's my personal miracle medication. And so it worked for me. But that wasn't the only thing I ended up getting medication for. I also ended up getting anxiety medication. And eventually I was found out that I had high blood pressure. And so I started taking medication for that. And I also have a lot of gastrointestinal issues, as many of us have. And so I take medication for that. And I got to a point where I felt like I was taking too many pills, too much medication, and I didn't like it. Like it was too much toxic stuff that I was taking. So part of moving out here, part of the reason for wanting the big lifestyle change is to see if I could start eliminating some of those medications. Granted, I moved to Colorado for a reason, because I know that cannabis is one of those medications that works really well for me, and it helps me a lot, but it's not legal in New York, it's legal in Colorado. So that was one of the reasons for moving. And because having that alternative meant maybe I could stop taking the idea. So when we moved out here, the goal was to try to drop some medications. After living here for about a year, I was able to get off the prescription, but I think the blood pressure situation is genetic, like biological. So I don't think I have a choice about that one. But I'm on that basic antidepressant. It's not an SSRI, it's an SNRI, which works better for me. And I take that every day, but I got rid of some of my medications by changing my lifestyle again, right? So now I sit on that place of it. I think if you're sitting in a place with medication and you're not sure if you should, if you think about what it is that you're giving up by not just giving it a try, that's what I say. And think about that equation first before making the decision. We also want to think about side effects and whether the side effects of medication are something you should be concerned with. Some medications cause migraines, some cause inability to sleep, like insomnia and things like that. And that's not in every person, that's just in some people. So we are all gonna kind of react to medications differently. It's important that you be clear about that, write it down how you're feeling about it, and make sure that you keep your prescriber in the loop with it, because you want to make sure you eventually get on the right medication for you, the one that makes you feel your best and that your body responds to the best, not one that makes you feel sicker or worse about yourself. The other thing to think about, of course, are folks are really big believers in melatonin for sleep, and some other things. I'm a big believer in sleep hygiene, which is really having a good practice of what your routine is before bed, the time you go to sleep, stuff like that. But there are alternative things that you can choose besides medication. Us need the medication to help us with our co-occurrers as we're trying to get through the diagnosis, the figuring out of the masking, should we unmask, figuring out who we are and our authenticity, and understanding that a lifetime lived without the correct diagnosis means there's trauma, and we all have it in our own form, and so we all need to deal with that piece too. And so, if you need to figure out side effects, figure out the percentage of human beings that this medication works for, all of those things. Remember that our bodies function differently. So make sure that when you're starting any medication, you ask to be started on the lowest dose possible. That was a big mistake a lot of people made with me as a child, because I used to tell them, no, these medications, they were like too strong for me, right? Because I was processing differently. I think autistics process our medication differently. In our metabolism, there's something about it, and we don't need quite as much. So you'll often be start out with the smallest dose possible. It'll help with figuring out whether you'll have side effects and having them come on in a small way rather than a huge way. And also knowing whether you have any, whether it's an actual medication that's making a difference for you or not. So that's my take on that whole situation. I am now going to read your chats and see what I'm missing, because you guys are chit-chatting about this one, which I love. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Miriam's also having hair struggles. Yep. Yep. See, Miriam also struggled with medication and over-medicating, right? Yep. Communication is, yep. So a lot of this stuff, telehealth has been amazing. That's great. Yeah, so telehealth, right? Something we couldn't get covered for the life of us. Now everyone's using it. I really, really hope they let us keep it. And that insurance is now covering telehealth. Help. We really don't want to leave our houses usually. So that's it's so important. And since the struggle of getting ready to leave and transportation and all of that other stuff, being able to have easy access to mental health, fantastic. I would be able to have better mental health if I could do telehealth. It's feeling pretty natural and that kind of stuff. So is it sensory overload, Carrie, to be on the telehealth? I don't know. Well, you guys tell me, chit chat with me, tell me in the comments. But it's something I'd like to try for sure. But that's sort of how I sit about medication. And so we all have to make that decision for ourselves. And I think we all have to really look at the pros and cons in our lives. And you need to look at it like we talked about this weekend through our version of what our life looks like and what you're comfortable with. And oh, it is sensory overload. Yes. So yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on medication. I would love to hear your experiences. I would love to hear if my advice helped. I would love to know if you'd like this kind of setup better for doing the live stream. All of that jazz. So take some time, throw it in the comments. Email me at info@beccalaurie.com. I do sometimes take quite a while to get back to you because I kind of have to juggle lots of things to do it, but I promise there is not an email that I have ever not responded to. I do get to them. So if you have questions or you have something you want to share with me or you have a topic to suggest for next week or the week after, I would love, love, love to hear it. I think this is going to be a good thing for us. I think this was a super duper suggestion. So I really appreciate it, Joe. I really think it was a great suggestion. So let me know about that. Let me know if the buffering was at least better in here than it is outside, or if I should try another spot. I'm sure I'll see a bunch of you in the groups of Neurodiversity Newsstand. Sign up for my newsletter on my website. Go get yourself a recording of my webinar from this weekend. Everything and every way you can reach me is all on my website, which is beccalaurie.com. And of course, you can reach me directly at info@beccalaurie.com. Thank you guys for spending some time with me today. This was a really, really fun one for me, and I hope we'll be able to have more groups like it in the future. I love it. All right, great to see you guys, and I will see you around the interweb. Bye.